Love, love elevated with PM.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Love Elevated with PMP. I'm Princess.
And of course, I'm Brian.
And this is where we share a couple tips from 30 years of marriage.
Yeah, so here's the question for today. What do you think is the best way to truly forgive in a relationship? Especially when the hurt runs deep. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. Okay, woo. Now we're getting into some more serious but is needed topics. And this one right here, it may sound simple, but it's really not.
When you've been hurt for real, I mean, it's something that just sticks in your body. It's something that sticks in your mind. No matter what you're doing on a daily basis, it's there.
Mm-hmm. You know? Especially when it's an argument that has been taken way too far.
Right. And when you have those type of arguments where it's been way too far, oh my God, those are the ones that you constantly thinking about on a daily, right? I mean, the next day, the next minute, the next 5 days, you really just gonna think about this thing and be trying to figure out why did I say that? Why was I so hurt?
Yeah, and then it's a lot to do with us as being a married couple too, because when you try to forgive someone and you say that you're no longer hurt, you forgiving your spouse or your significant other, and then you find yourself not really over it because it still comes up.
It still comes up. And don't you hate that when we be arguing and all of a sudden you will say, well, that ain't what you did last week.
Time.
You did this last month.
Week.
And remember last year when you did so and so? Yeah, those are the type of things that hurt.
Yeah, so some kind of way you have to do a different process and make things a little bit more understanding. Talk to your partner, even with me, because sometimes it's hard for me to forgive. It really is. And it takes me a little time, more than some hours. And I'm still working on that though. But sometimes you may have to just, forgive in stages because you just never know if it's going to be a little bit more time. Of course, you want to just move on and make sure everything is right within your relationship. But sometimes you're not over it if those situations or those things just keep coming up over and over again.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So by us being Christians, right, we know that God asks us to forgive.
Oh, yeah.
Because he comes to us and he says, well, if we do wrong, he's expecting us to come back and ask for forgiveness, right?
That's right.
But he did say in his word that he throws it into the sea of forgetfulness. What gets me is when people say, oh, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget what you done. That hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt.
And that's the reason why a lot of times it stays in the back of people's mind because they want to forgive, right? But they want to hold on to that pain so they don't get that pain again. So that's what they holding on to it. But if they just throw it into the sea of forgiveness and start forgiving that person, they'll start seeing a big difference in their life.
But you know what? And also, though, I kind of realized when we would get into our arguments and stuff, and a lot of times I don't think the forgiveness was for you.
It's never for you.
Yeah, because it was more for me. And then sometimes you even have to, that's where your faith comes in, because that's when you have to start asking for strength and for that healing to actually take place with you and your spouse or your significant other. So a lot of times when we're, and I had to learn this, y'all, I'm being very transparent. It took me a long time, and it's something that I'm still trying to handle a lot better than what I did, because it was just hard for me to forgive certain things and I think that comes from, past hurts and building up a wall, because I had already had a wall built up when I even met my husband. So it was, it takes a lot. And you have to, make sure that you are, if you believe in God, if you have God in the center of your marriage, which we talked about on our first episode, then that's when you have to pray. Pray for strength, for forgiveness, and hopefully that will help you to overcome, and both of you guys can heal together.
Exactly. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we have issues just like everybody else that we're still going through. We've been 30 years, right? We're still learning how to forgive one another. We're still learning how to forgive other people.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, it's a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's definitely a process. So when you can get around that other person and still be able to talk to that person and laugh and talk and play and joke around, that's when you know in your heart that you have forgiven yourself. And when you have forgiven that other person, it's not for the other person, it's for you. Because a lot of times you let the other person, they doing, or he or she is doing whatever they want to do and having fun and enjoying their lives. But in here you going, I remember when he did so and so and so and so so and so. So you're giving him rent-free space in your head.
Yes, it's still in the back of your head.
Yeah,
it's still in the back of your mind. You know, even though this thing happened years ago, maybe months ago, or something like that. So yeah, you definitely have to find a place to not only forgive your spouse or your significant other, but forgive yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. So the whole key to this thing is learn how to forgive.
So make sure you drop your thoughts and questions in the comments. We would love to hear from you so we can come back and respond to them. And if you're going through something like this right now with trying to forgive your spouse, your significant other, please just make sure you take your time. And then make sure it's sincere when you are ready for the next step.
That's 100% correct. But don't close your heart completely. Be open to the compromise to speak openly to your spouse. Let them know how you're feeling. And hopefully that right there will start the healing process.
Exactly, because healing is possible.
And forgiveness is also possible.
Absolutely. And again, please remember,
when love and faith is the foundation,
love becomes elevated. We'll see you next week.
Till next time.